So if you're watching my channel, you're most likely a Pokemon fan, and some of you might have played The Legend of Zelda, and some of you might be thinking about it. So today I want to share with you how I got into that game and why I think you should start playing them. So we're gonna have to start way back when this grandpa was a little kid. You see, I was born in El Salvador in a very poor family, and never in my wild dreams I thought that I was gonna be able to own a game system. I saw kids who had like Super Nintendos and stuff, and it just fascinated me. But one day my mother was able to come to the US, and when she came back, she brought us a big surprise. And by that time it was the Nintendo 64. And while she brought a bunch of games, one of them that really caught my attention was a golden cartridge with the name The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Granted that at that time I didn't speak any English, so when I read the title it most likely sounded something like The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. The reason I'm telling you this is because it's almost impossible for you to talk about a game that you hold dear to you without getting nostalgia in the way. But since you guys play Pokemon and I play both of them, I'm trying to be as objective as possible and share with you what I think are some similarities, and this is the reason why I believe most of you will enjoy playing a Zelda game. Pokemon is an RPG game, while Zelda is known as an action-adventure game. But at their core, they're not that different at all. They both focus on a character that embarks on a journey. While in Pokemon the main goal is to catch them all, defeat the gym leaders and become the champion, in Zelda, the whole purpose of your journey is to save the princess and defeat Ganon. I know what you're thinking, you're probably saying like, well, that sounds a lot like Super Mario. Yeah, I know it sounds like Super Mario, but we're not talking about Super Mario, we're talking about Pokemon and Zelda, which brings me to the very main point I want to talk about. And that is, while in Pokemon you collect different creatures with different abilities, in Zelda you collect different items. Pokemon has the edge because it has a lot more creatures in there. There's not 150 items probably in one Legend of Zelda game, but in overall there are a ton of them. And the fun part about it is that in Pokemon you use your creatures that evolve and have different abilities and stuff. But the items themselves that you find in Zelda have different abilities, and the way you use them in the world is the interesting part when you're trying to solve puzzles or defeating the bosses. Boss fights is reason number 2 why you should be playing any Legend of Zelda game. And yes, I know, in Pokemon you get to fight the gym leaders and the champion, and I do have to agree that beard does look menacing. It's nothing compared to what you have to face in The Legend of Zelda, from dragons and monsters with many swords and scorpions and giant spiders that make you feel very tiny. And now we come to the main difference between both games, which might be a deal breaker for some of you. And that is the fact that in Pokemon, you can take as long as you want being an RPG game. As long as it's your turn, whether you're fighting the champion or a gym leader, it's okay. You can go out, have a coffee, come back, and the game waits for you. And Zelda, on the other hand, it's an action-adventure, so you gotta be constantly moving, managing your health, using certain items, trying to aim at a giant eyeball while it's spitting fire at you or doing something else. I don't know. This is a game when you don't want no interruption. Like when your girlfriend or your mother comes in and she's like, oh, you gotta take out the trash. And you're like, I can't, you're gonna make me lose. And then they make you lose and you drop the controller or whatever. But you know what I mean. So number 3 where you should be playing a Zelda game is the story. Both games have excellent stories, and they make you progress through the game by going through villages, exploring towns, talking to NPCs, such and such. But if you subscribe to my channel, you know that I focus a lot on Pokemon theories that are based on the lore. Stuff that, games connect to each other from the very first game to the latest ones. Well, you wouldn't be surprised to know that Zelda is a great subject for theories as well, because they do make connection between all games. And if you take a look into YouTube and search for Zelda theories, if you haven't played any of the games, it might be hard to understand, but if you do play them, they might blow your mind too. Reason number 4, if you enjoy Pokemon because you love to complete tasks and like trying to catch them all, you're gonna love Zelda games, especially this one, the latest one, if you have a Nintendo Switch. There is so much to do on this huge open world game, and I put so many hours on it. I'm still not done. I did finish all the shrines, but I think I'm at like 30% done with the game. You finish the game, but there's so many side quests, so much stuff to do that's gonna keep you occupied for a long time. So if you like collecting them all, I'm sure you're gonna like to complete this. The final reason why you should be playing a Zelda game is simply to have fun. If you're a gamer, if you enjoy games, you should be giving almost any game a try. You never know. I was talking about nostalgia in the beginning, and if you give them a shot, they might become maybe one of your favorite games. And while there are a lot of bad games out there, sometimes you might come across hidden gems.